James Faison from Faison Law Group. I want to continue our conversation about early stage investing. A big issue is securities regulation. So, if you're raising money, unless you are getting in debt, i.e., loans, you're going to be offering securities. So, any convertible note, any KISS, any SAFE, any price equity round, they're all considered securities. Securities are regulated both at the federal and state level. To the federal level, through the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and at the state level through various agencies, some of which might be the Office of the Attorney General. That means you have to register the securities unless you have an exemption. You do not want to register securities unless you have to because it's incredibly expensive, incredibly time consuming, and incredibly burdensome. So, how do you get an exemption? A big question which will decide which, if any, security exemptions are available to you is whether or not your investors are considered accredited investors.
Now, you can be an accredited investor as a person, or you can be an accredited investor as an entity. What we're going to focus on is an accredited investor as a person, because typically in your early stages, particularly when you're doing a friends and family round, you're going to be raising money from people. So there are two big criteria, a financial criteria and a professional criteria, but we're going to focus on the financial criteria because that's the one most commonly used. So one is, are you worth more than $1 million, excluding the value of your primary residence? So if you have secondary homes, you can include that. But are you worth more than $1 million, excluding your primary residence? And two, if you're an individual, in each of the past 2 years, have you made over $200,000, and do you expect to make that going forward? Or if you're a couple, have y'all combined made over $300,000 in each of the past 2 years, and do you expect to make that going forward? You don't have to have both of these, but if you have either one of those, then you will qualify under the SEC as an accredited investor.
So we know the definition of accredited investor. Now what? Does that mean that we don't accept money unless it comes from accredited investors? Absolutely not. Particularly in a friends and family round, you're going to try to get money from whoever will invest in you and whoever believes in you. So, what it means is that it's going to narrow the universe of exemptions that you can qualify for and put more sort of red tape and regulatory filings around what you can do, but you can still accept that money. Stay tuned. Watch another video in the future and we'll go into more detail about the types of exemptions that are available if you're using accredited investors and if you're using non-accredited investors.